Welcome, Innovation Challenge hackers. I am here with my colleague Naveen Krishnan. Naveen is super passionate about sharing knowledge and helping the community. He's been a judge on a couple of my hackathons before and an advisor as well. So you'll get a little insight into seeing how the judges think. I invited him here today because he's got, we can go over 3 different articles he's written about agents and working with agents. And there's a lot of information in there. They're all linked from the description. But Naveen, let me go ahead and hand it over to you. Let's start off with what's your role at Microsoft? What do you do?
Yeah. So hello everyone. So glad to meet you all through this channel. And yeah, at Microsoft, I joined Microsoft 4 years back, and so at Microsoft, I'm a solutions architect, and I specialized in designing AI systems for end customers. So we have a handful of small, medium, and corporate customers where we go help them design the AI solutions, identify use case, help them design AI solutions, and then we co-develop with them at times. And finally, we have them go live, and then we see the ROI, and then we come back. So that's what I do at Microsoft. And apart from that, I do a lot of other stuff. I write blogs on AI, and I do AI podcasts, and I write some research articles around AI. So these are my things. And apart from that, I'm working on few books, and I'm writing a book with Manning Publications. So that's around AutoGen. So it's with Chi Wong and other inventors. So I'm one of the authors. I'm going to be one of the author as well on that book, and a few other books of evolution of AI agents and autonomous and beyond. And there is one another book that is dedicated to MCP. So, yeah, these are the things what I'm working on right now.
That's great. I mean, you've got a point of view that is really helpful because you're doing it for real out in the world with customers that have to do it for their business. So that's what. Let's go ahead and walk through the articles. I think the first one I want to talk through is the where you go through the different frameworks for orchestration.
Yeah.
And do you want me to go ahead and pull up your screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, tell us about this one. So first of all, when do you need to use one of these?
Yeah, so good question, Matt. So actually, we have different frameworks when we try to implement agents. So it is very hard for someone to pick a right framework which is what they need. So there are plenty of frameworks out there. So one is AutoGen, and there are AG2, which is evolving, and Semantic Kernel, which we already have at Microsoft, and there are LangChain, and then Crew AI and things like that. So here in this article, I have evaluated why AutoGen and when to use AutoGen. So AutoGen is something, it's a research framework, what I would say, where you get all the capabilities of memory management and whatnot, right? So it has got plenty of stuffs inbuilt, and you just have to just invoke those pieces and then work with it. So it is easy, very easy to implement, and it has got several things lined up. So if you read this article, it will list down all the capabilities what it has got in detail, and it has all AG2 again. It is just it moved out from AutoGen, and then it's now getting shape, but it's not completely out yet. But it's worth trying something around AG2s. And Semantic Kernel, it's a production-ready framework what we have at Microsoft, and many of our clients, my clients usually, they use Semantic Kernel for their real-world application, and it is designed more towards enterprise, where I'm a Microsoft developer and I do a lot of C#, and then I need to use some framework. Then Semantic Kernel is the right one. And if you're good at Python, you wanted to explore more on Python, then AutoGen is the right framework to start with.
Good tip. Yeah.
And so this piece covers about the frameworks, and so go in depth and see what it has got. It has got asynchronous messaging, model extensible capabilities, and it has got inbuilt observability and debugging capabilities as well. So it is huge now. So when I wrote this, it's been around what I would say maybe 3-4 months back, and it has got a lot of other new things inbuilt with it. I'm planning to write one other article which covers just focus only on AutoGen, and apart from my book, what I'm writing on. So, and AG2, it's again what I said. It's just rebranded from this version of AutoGen, and it is just quite similar to what it is. And here I have explained all the patterns visibly, which I'll be talking end of the article. End of this video, I'll be covering like what is agent and what is not agent. And so we'll go in depth of agentic patterns and other stuffs in detail in the next thing. But here I'll just have to give you the overview of what this article is about. And it has got all the implementation steps. These are all working steps which I implemented in my local, and then there are results how this works, and then you can make use of the hackers can definitely make use of this data here, which can ease their work. If they got stuck anywhere, then they can refer this article at any time.
I hope I'm not going too far ahead of us. So if you are doing a hackathon and you've got to choose a framework pretty fast because you don't want to spend too much time just researching, you want to just go. How do you pick one in that situation? I think C# versus Python is a good start.
Yeah, so I'll start there basically. So that's the one which decides the most.
Yeah.
But then, so for hackers, definitely AutoGen is the right platform. So it has got a Discord community, and you just join there and then ask your questions, or if you can, it's an open source again, so you can raise PR against that. And then, so if you're needing something new, and you can just raise a PR and then be part of the contributors of AutoGen as well. So that's another notion.
Everyone should get in the habit of helping out with open source projects. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So what about the? Should we jump over to the one on functions? I think that's a interesting idea.
Yeah. So, this is especially since I work for small and medium businesses, so I wanted something which is very a cost-effective solution where we can run our multi-agent solution. So this is something what we invented here. So it is just how you run AutoGen based, AutoGen using AutoGen framework, how you can run a multi-agent system in a function app. So you can run a small multi-agent system like here. I think in this example, I have used Bing search. So where I ask about something, and then my agent go to a Bing search, get the details out from the internet, and it uses reflection pattern to go itself do some report on it. So this is the second agent. So this is the Bing search agent, and this is the report agent, which kind of prepare some results out of what it has got, just not giving what it got from Bing search, instead of doing some more additional reporting on top of it, and finally it just sends the result out. So this is one way of implementing a cost-effective multi-agent solution for a simple use cases.
When I think of functions, I think of a couple things. The first is they are very cost-effective.
Yeah.
You're paying very small amounts for, very quick bursts of lots of power. Normally, I think of them as being used to sort of integrate functionality into older systems, larger systems. You can kind of come in and out of things. For when you were doing this, when you were framing up this project, is it, it's just all functions, or are there kind of is there a right time to think functions or for multi-agent?
This is how this works is, so I have a I need a so for example, right, so there is a pattern called reflection in agents. So agent has got 3 or 4 patterns, and there's a reflection pattern. So I have a function, and which is currently working in my production, and I wanted to make some thinking or reasoning capability to my function. So instead of just getting the results and then sending it out, I just needed to do some work on top of it and make sure evaluator, or I have to have an evaluator agent, or I have to have another task, right? Function, it just performs the task and returns output. That's a normal function. And when you bundle it with agent, what it does is, so it does some work, and you can add evaluation on top of it to evaluate the work what it did and the final output what you get out. So this is one benefit
That's got a lot of possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with LLM and what you get out in the internet these days. So this is one more layer of refinement before it gives the response back to the user. So that's the main idea of developing this cost-effective solution on just functions.
Cool. Should we dig into the big paper?
Yeah, sure.
All about agents.
Yes. Yeah, so this paper, it got evolved. So after I started working from on agents since January, I then finally ended up with creating one. So it covers all the things what I have crossed with agents, right? It see the evaluation first, and it gives you a architecture like how I see agent architecture is, and the real world applications, like where we can use this agents, like which use case really qualifies for agents, and things like that. So if you see the basic architecture of agent, what I had in my mind when I was writing this paper is so where first option is something where it get the input from the user or another source, then it creates or avoids takes out the noise, and it does the reasoning with the help of knowledge representation is something what we have knowledge, and then the memory. So memory is nothing but what I have done for the previous task, for similar task last month, and or there was a task which I started working last month, and then I have some updates, and then I have to start working on now, and then that's where memory comes into picture. And learning and adoption. So what I made wrong and what I'm going to make it now. So how I'm going to correct it myself. So these three are the major pillar for reasoning and decision making of any agent architecture. And finally, agent action is a task that what it finally performs and it outputs it out. So this is the high level architecture which you have to always have in terms of developing an agent. Developing a completely full blown agent is what I would say. And rest others are all like what's the topology of this agent, and there are plenty of it is a long, like around 50-page document what I have wrote on what I wrote on this agent. And there is one another document, and if you are interested and if you have time spending this, so this is on MCP completely.
Oh yeah.
It's a new model context protocol. So it's a new API for AI, right? Or you call it as USB-C for AI. So there are different terminology what people use for MCP. So it covers everything about MCP, and what it does is so MCP is a concept of USB-C for AI, where you have MCP host or clients. So host is nothing but you think of it as your app or your Visual Studio Code or anything anything that acts as a client today. So that's a MCP host. And on the other hand, you have MCP servers. MCP servers are nothing but how your database, let's say a Postgres database or a SQL database, can be exposed as a server, so that you can control all these capabilities, what to read and what not. And apart from that, you can have several other servers. I think there is one another page which I was just checking just before this meeting. So yeah, there are. It's called mcpserver.org. So I think that's the page where you can find plenty of MCP servers here. So you can see for search, there are a list of MCP server, and that's available out here. So deep search and whatnot. And for databases, what we just spoke about. So we have Postgres MCP server. If you wanted to connect, if you want to give context for your model, and then you use Postgres SQL. Then your data source is Postgres. Then you use Postgres server MCP server for giving context to your model. So MCP is not just context to model; it also tools for model. So you can give tools like file search and other tools like whatever it is. So call up Bing search or any tools that you use for your model. So it can also give you these two to MCP server. So basically, that's what the purpose of MCP server is. And at the end, maybe we can talk about A to A as well, like how agent to agent communicate. So basically, MCP server is nothing but there is a standard protocol how your client is going to talk to this server, which is JSON RPC 2.0, I would say. So that's the standard what it uses to communicate with all this. So, yeah.
That was actually a very good short description of MCP. We did an almost hour-long video just last week or earlier this week on MCP too, because there's a lot there. It's very rich.
Yeah.
For today, for getting the hackers up and going, any tips or advice to if they're looking at a problem and trying to think, this is more than just a chatbot. I need an agent.
Yeah. Sure, definitely. So yeah, this is the confusion what I see very often. So first understand what agent is, right? So agent is not an automation script, or so I have this, I am going to restart a server. So that's not agent basically. So agent is something which can perform some autonomous tasks. So I have a set of tasks. For example, if this happens, if I get an email from this person, and then based on that email, I'll have to go perform this task. And so I get that result back, and then I share that results with another agent. That agent is going to do some refinement, and based on that results, I'm going to do another action, and then give it back, right? So it is not a rule based engine, or it is not a autonomous. Sorry, it is not a scripts or what we use today for or web services or Windows services. So it's not something that. So agent is something different. It's meant for actually this purpose. So that differentiation should be very clear when you go to agent.
Yeah.
So what is agents and what not? And when you come to agents, choose the right framework, whether you choose AutoGen or Semantic, which we already discussed. So choosing agent is choosing the framework is very important. And the third thing is choose the right pattern for your use case, right? So that is reflection pattern. Reflection pattern is nothing but one agent generate a response, and based on that response, the second agent does the refinement of our results and then send back. So that is one. And so there are different types of patterns. So one is tool use pattern. Tool use pattern is nothing but when you need external data for your agent to work on. For example, there is a problem. Let's say your laptop, right? Your laptop, it has got a audio problem, and then it needs to go out to internet, figure out what is the right version of driver which your laptop needs, and based on that, it pulls the driver and it installs. So this is the tool. So Bing search tool or a Google search tool or a file search tool, you have a long PDF document and you have to do something. That's a file search tool, or image analysis tool. You have a computer vision API, then that's a tool. So these are the tools how you will think as a tool. And third is planning agent. So I have a set of plans. I don't know how I have to plan, right? So for example, go ahead and create a project, and that project should be a snake app like what we used to play. So
Yeah.
go and create the project. I don't know what you do, right? So you be a coder, and you be a test case writer, or you be the code reviewer. So you plan accordingly. So it can create tasks of its own, and it can come up with certain tasks, and it can keep human in loop. So at every stage it keeps you in the loop and make sure where it progress and how it progress, and finally you get the results back. So this is another pattern. And with multi agents, you have to be very careful. First, choose the right flow, or a right what you say. First, choose the right uh, design for your multi-agent pattern. So is it going to be a hierarchical chat, or is it going to be a sequential chat, or it's going to be a nested chat? So first, design the right thing how we are going to work on that, and based on that, you think about the next step. And for sure, try to use MCP servers as much as possible, because that is your life. You don't have to worry about connecting to database and then worry schemas and stuff like that. So learn about MCP a little bit, and it's just a standard protocol. That's it. So use the MCP protocol, and finally, when you have using multi-agent, so for sure go for A2A. So that will be pretty much. It looks like more standard way of you communicating between agents, right? So it's better to explore that as well.
A couple questions from chat. So you actually, I think while you were talking, you gave a few interesting examples, like go find the right driver. It's not, you're not just giving it a list of tasks, you're telling go figure out the tasks. So this is from our friends at Black Women in Artificial Intelligence. And I mean, any other, innovative ways you've seen someone, using these? What can people do now that they haven't been able to do before?
Yeah, sure. So that is one real world use case which one of my colleague implemented. Sorry, one of my friend who implemented in UK. That is, they use Azure as their cloud infrastructure, and they do get a lot of maintenance level activities. Right. For example, my storage is getting full, or there is a ongoing maintenance which is scheduled to happen this night. So they wake up in the night and then they do a list of checks or validations, and then they make sure their app is running fine, or if not, suddenly there is a surprise. So that storage, there is a storage full kind of situation, and how do I act at that time? So everybody get into a call, and then they spend 3-4 hours at night, and then they take a resolution. For now, they have implemented agent for that use case. So which means agent, there's a monitoring agent which kind of monitors your insights of your infrastructure, and based on the results, it kind of go to internet or the knowledge resources what it has already got. So based on the previous experience, if it has got a similar issue in the past, then what are the resolution steps what it needs to follow? So based on that, it kind of makes a decision, and lists a set of tasks and send it to you by keeping human in loop, and then ask for your suggestions. And if you say to perform this activity, it go perform this activity, and once the activity is performed, it evaluate whether the problem is solved, and then if not, it will suggest a second activity what it has to do, and then based on your approval, it go perform that activity, and then validates the system is up. Then it comes back and reports you what the system is doing and how the status is. In the next morning, when you go to office, it creates you a summary of what it has did so far, what is the problem, and what is the loss, expected loss, and how it saved you from the loss of your application being down. So this is one simple agentic solution, which is interesting, and I heard this morning from my friend.
That's
And
a great one.
other solutions which are even more interesting, but in the interest of time, I'll just stop here.
Well, one more question from chat here. It's from Tyrone. He actually clarified afterwards. Is it possible to create an MCP server without using a UI like VS Code? He gave the like calling an action, or
Yeah, it's possible. So you don't have to work with you don't have to wait for that UI or anything. So just I just showed you, right? So go to mcpserver.org.
yeah,
If there is already a MCP server that's available, it should be available because Microsoft Azure has got MCP server in it. So there are plenty of open source MCP servers out there. But if it's not, it's just a matter of creating within, like what I would say, I can create an MCP server for MySQL database for within 2 days. Right? So it's very easy to create an MCP server. So yeah, just go ahead.
Well, we're kind of out of time. This has been a lot, actually. I actually know more than I did half an hour ago for sure. Thank you. And any last words? Anything else? Nope, nothing else from chat. So we'll go ahead and sign off. And I'm sure you'll sign up register as an advisor, so people can reach out to you and ask more questions.
Yeah,
when they have actual specific problems. And
I'm going to be one of the advisors, so just feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions when you are implementing something, and I'll be happy to help you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Naveen.
Yeah, congrats, hackers, and looking forward to see all your implementations soon. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Thanks for the opportunity.